listening to Astro Detectives, where longtime friends Scott and Sarah try to debunk
or prove
the ancient practice of astrology.
I'm Sarah Hartshorn, the Astrologer.
And I'm Scott Randall, the Skeptic. Each episode, I'll give Sarah two natal charts. One chart matches the exact moment of birth for our mystery guest, and the other is just a red herring.
I'll use astrology to detect which chart belongs to our guest. And with a little help from my underground network of astro detectives, this case is as good as solved.
Oh, we'll see about that. Hey there, Astro Detectives listeners. We are back for our second episode of Season 3. This is the wild and crazy season where neither one of us know which chart belongs to the guest that we're going to be interviewing later. It's creating all sorts of excitement. Sarah's having fun because she's not alone, and Scott doesn't know everything coming into the show.
I like Astrologer Scott. This is fun.
I like not having to try to hide my knowledge coming into it, because before I would try to don't say anything that tips off which one it might be. And as you're talking about leaning in one direction, I'm trying to keep a straight face. You know, if I know which one is right, and if you're in the right direction, don't be tipping you off at all. I would be a terrible poker player, I think.
No, I was going to say you always had a poker face. I could never tell, because you always kind of have a sly smile either way, so. And I'm over here just in my head about the charts, I'm not trying to wonder what Scott's body language is. If anything, I'm trying to shut that out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Our guest is going to be either a Libra or a Scorpio this time. So log into astrodetectivespod.com and get those charts and read the survey. And then you'll be able to guess along with us. Sarah, was there anything that jumped out to you in either the survey or the charts that is going to kind of guide your picking this week?
Yeah. Well, actually, before I tell you what I noticed, I was curious, what you think is the difference on Libra and Scorpio.
Libras, at first I got it mixed up with Sagittarius. So I was like, oh, love to travel. Always out there traveling.
Well, there's a Sag moon in one of these.
But Libra, that's the one with the little scales, right? Justice. Yep. So concerned with fairness. But as we learned on our Libra playlist, that isn't necessarily like social justice and activism. That can be more of just wanting people to get along and wanting to keep the peace. And sometimes I could see this being a middle of the road kind of person that's trying to stay in the middle and try to calm things down versus I'm obsessed with creating justice and I'm going to take to the streets and try to make it happen the way that maybe an Aquarius might, who's trying to overturn the system or something. And then Scorpio, I don't know, how close is that for Libra? We okay?
Yeah. You definitely hit on some Libra themes there.
Okay. And Scorpio is more secretive or just internal, not going to show you too much about what they're thinking. They can be very selective and target their whatever they're working on. I don't know. Scorpio sometimes gets a bad rap. I'm trying to think about the songs that were on our Scorpio playlist to really make me remember what a Scorpio looks like.
It was a collection of sex songs.
Oh, okay. The sexy Scorpios.
Yeah. One thing I really like is each sign, has kind of a set of significations. But then when we move to the next sign in the zodiac, there's always this, let's go in a different direction. So whatever we did last month, let's do something totally different. So what I love is Libra is about balance and equilibrium and harmony. And also really concerned with like the surface, like the aesthetic appeal on the surface, whereas Scorpio is about taking things to extremes, so not balance. And it's really interested in depth and like getting to the bottom of something, whereas Libra is more like up on the surface and more concerned with like how things look, you know.
I was just looking at our Astro playlists, which are available on Spotify to Astro Detectives members on Patreon, and Girls Just Want to Have Fun starts off the Libra playlist, whereas Scorpio starts off with Dark Side by Bishop Briggs.
Yeah. So yeah, I think just sun sign astrology wise, that's kind of the difference between those archetypes. But what I like to look at beyond that is definitely the first house and the rising sign, because that's what we're probably going to, that's like that's the house of first impressions. So to me, that's very important in a situation like this, where you're just like kind of getting to know someone for the first time. I want to see if any of the archetypes of their ascendants come forward. You can also kind of like visually get some clues about how this person might look based on their rising sign. And I also am kind of into medical astrology. So I always kind of look for some of the health issues, whatever people are willing to share. But so with that in mind, I feel like our Libra here has a lot of signatures that make me think that they are going to be more focused on legacy and leaving their mark on the world, and like really they've got a Capricorn ascendant with Saturn, like the ruler of Capricorn, right on the ascendant. So to me, that is like someone who is about responsibility, authority, and their sun and stellium up in the 10th house. This is like someone who's very career focused, very about like climbing the mountain, those Capricorn things, and really being responsible and a lot of structure, things like that, hierarchy. And whereas our Scorpio, they have Scorpio moon, Scorpio Mars, Pluto, all packed in the fourth house in Scorpio. So they got a nice little stellium down there. And the fourth house is also like the house that's under the earth. So it's also about privacy and, because it's like the home, the parents, the land, your ancestry, and Scorpio is about going deep. So, and that chart has a Leo ascendant. So with Chiron on the ascendant, that's a kind of like a wounded healer type energy. So that being said, I feel like the Libra is someone who is really about appearances and being out in the world and climbing, leaving their mark on the world. Whereas the Scorpio energy is more about like this intense depth and something about their heritage and ancestry. And so one feels very future oriented and one feels kind of past oriented, I guess. And one is very like deep.
That's the Scorpio?
Yeah.
Let's get deep.
Yeah, let's get deep.
Well, we're going to carry this Libra kicking and screaming into being deep, or we're going to carry the Scorpio happily into a deep conversation.
Yeah.
To determine which chart belongs to them, again, you can get the charts on our website. Anything else we want to hit before we come back with our guest and start this investigation?
No, you covered it.
All right. I'm going to be looking at days of the week and birth times too, which is tough. Real quick, let me hit a. One of them is born on a Wednesday, but it's late at night, which is rare. One of them's born on a Sunday, but it's midday. Sundays are rare. So they both have something that's making the birth date more likely or less likely.
Well, rare based on what?
Number of births during that time. Like if you just take all the births that happen in the country and say, when is it more likely that somebody is born? Weekdays typically more often, and midday way more than like late night. Not saying it doesn't happen, obviously.
Is that research that you did, or you just are guessing?
Research.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, that's why last season or a couple seasons ago, that's why I was so strict about saying I want to keep both birth times the same, is so there wouldn't be any advantage. Now we got wheels off. We're having fun. So I'm factoring in some of that into thinking
Okay.
about like, what is the
Well,
most likely
hey,
time that this person would be born?
I'm just gonna say somebody gave me their chart or birth data today, and they were born at 1 a.m. So to me, it's you know anything's possible.
Yeah, but then yeah, for a weekday, it's more likely then they could have come into the hospital mid-morning and it just took longer than expected and then popped out 11 or whenever that is, 11 o'clock or something with this guest. So
That's a 1:53.
well,
Oh,
for the Wednesday one, it was at night
yeah, you're
at
right.
11 something.
11:53.
Yeah. So these are the things that the skeptical team is working with over here. Just
Okay.
looking at like or probability, and again, it's never 100%. So I'm a little uncomfortable,
Okay.
but I'm gonna try to use my astrology skills to pick up on any cues that this person might know about their sign
All right.
when we see them right after this. Hey, listeners, we're not just a podcast that tests astrology, we're an independent detective agency. That means we rely on you to help us keep the show running.
Exactly. By joining Astro Detectives on Patreon, you can support our mission to finally prove astrology is real.
Or, completely debunk it.
Here we go again.
One thing we can agree on, Astro Detectives is the only place you'll find astrologers and skeptics working together, like a buddy cop movie you didn't know you needed.
And trust me, detective work takes time, gathering evidence, late night stakeouts, solving cases, especially when Mercury's retrograde.
Okay, you can't blame Mercury.
The first step is easy and free. Just follow Astro Detectives on Patreon to get access to our debrief episodes where the conversation continues after each case ends. We break down what went right and what went wrong.
And if you want to fast track your training, become a rookie detective for only $3 a month. You'll unlock exclusive bonus episodes, plus early releases and the top secret case files sent straight to your inbox.
Or for just $1 a month, we'll make you an Astro intern. No compensation per se, but hey, you'll gain valuable detective experience and that warm fuzzy feeling knowing you're helping us keep the lights on.
So if you like what we're doing and want to support us, head over to patreon.com/astrodetectives and join the investigation today. Welcome back, everybody. We are here with our guest this week. This is Allie. Welcome to Astro Detectives.
Hello, nice to meet you guys.
Hello.
So we're the detectives, and we are going to grill you in this interrogation to get to the bottom of which of these two birth charts we're looking at might belong to you if astrology is real. So I'm going to start with the basics and just tell us a little bit about what you do career-wise, or, yeah, let's start there.
Okay, so the basics career-wise, I am in marketing. I specifically work within the music industry. So any of those annoying ads that you see for all those concerts coming up, I'm probably behind them. So I am out here just selling concert tickets and trying to keep music going.
Beautiful. And what got you into that?
So it's kind of a random story. I always thought that I was going to go into hospitality. I worked in the spa realm in college and thought that was where I wanted to go. Eventually opened my own wellness hospitality kind of spa feature. I had a bad breakup in college, flew home, ended up having a friend that was like, hey, do you want to come work this music festival with me? And it was kind of sealed from there. I ended up transferring colleges, and then I started working on Warped Tour for my summers during college, which my parents were not so thrilled about, but you take your opportunities as you get them. And then once I was done with school, I ended up working in radio, realized I missed the chaos of actual live events, and then transferred over to the promoter side. And I've been in the entertainment promoter world ever since.
I went to Warped Tour 97 and Warped Tour 98 in Austin and Dallas, respectively. But you were probably working on when it came back, they did a whole they redid the Warped Tour.
So I was in it in the 2010s era. So
what were the big bands that were around at that time?
God, I wish I could even remember. I spent so much time working that I didn't get to see very many shows, which is something I regret. But I remember it was a lot of like Bring Me the Horizon and A Day to Remember and those kind of bands. We did have a surprise set with Linkin Park too, which was fun. But, some fun ones.
So do you like the creativity of the music? Are you kind of drawn to that aspect? Or do you just like, and it could be both, do you like helping an artist or helping somebody reach their full potential by, doing this promotion to get more people to their shows? Or can you speak to what is it about the job that really motivates you?
So the job itself, I love that every time I log on to work, because I'm from home, that I don't know what I'm going to be opening in my inbox. It could be anything. So I love that part of it. So I love the creativity that the job gives me. But outside of that, there is something really exciting and satisfying about working on an artist show and then getting to see it grow every time it comes back to a venue or a city, and just seeing all these quote unquote smaller bands become big bands that everyone are excited about. So a little bit of both.
Can you give us any insight on how any musicians who are listening to this podcast can utilize some of the skills that it takes to market and get to be one of those big bands? Do you see some patterns that happen that, I can tell these guys are going to make it or these gals are going to make it?
I mean, I hate to say it, but be present on social media, something that I am not. So I can't even say that. But artist-wise, that's how you're getting your content out nowadays. So highly recommend that for the artists out there. And then other than that, there is no show too small, no room too small. So get out there and get people to hear you. That's what I would say.
Let's go back in time a little bit. What kind of a kid were you?
Oh, I was extremely quiet. I was a huge introvert. I could be an extrovert when needed, but it's kind of one of those, like when you're in a situation, same with work now. I am very much an introvert unless I have to be put on the spot, and then I will pull it up and then I'll have to reset for a while afterwards. But same thing when I was a kid as I am now with that. I was never great in school, but I loved learning. But I realized that I loved learning the things I wanted to learn. So as a kid, that's where I was. I had my small friend group. That was perfect. I didn't need a huge, crazy life. I was very much just a very mellow kid.
Like well-behaved, no problems. Like if your parents were describing you, were you the one that they would say, oh, it's one, like no trouble at all?
Oh yeah. Like not a rule breaker at all until high school. And then I think we all rebel a little bit at that point.
What did that look like?
Just everybody starts the little party phase and everything else. And that's kind of when I first started going to music. At that point, I didn't think I'd go work in it, but started going to shows, all that kind of stuff. So a little bit of parties here or there, but nothing too crazy.
Now, if you could kind of just briefly give us an idea of your parents, were they very work focused or were they kind of, more family at home, casual, fun?
So my parents split when I was 6. So there was a little bit of or I think I was in that range. I could have gotten that number wrong, but my parents split when I was younger. My dad's side became more of I think probably people see this a lot with divorced parents. The dad's side becomes the fun every other weekend house, and the mom's side becomes more the focus on school, parents, all of that. So mom's house was a little more structured. Dad's house was a little more fun. My mom didn't necessarily work the normal 9-to-5 jobs, but she was doing a lot of community work and that kind of stuff.
Cool. And then was there a point where you started to get into side of you mentioned the holistic, wanting to do retreats and self-improvement for people. What kind of got you into that?
I wish I knew. I had a friend take me to a yoga class. And then after that, it was like, let's do yoga. Let's do wellness things. Let's do retreats. Let's do meditations. I have no idea how I really fell into it except for a yoga class. So I'll blame that one class on that.
You just walk out of there out of breath and just buzzing and enthusiastic about the next class.
It's like, oh, I hate cardio, but I could do this. This could be nice. This could be a good reset.
Yeah, some people walk out of there and think, never again.
Yes. And those are the people that'll also go run a mile after, which you will not catch me doing. So.
And last section for me, before I pass it over to Sarah, if you could kind of, taking some of those practices, have you kept any of them in your daily routine of just health in general, or are you still doing yoga? Or if you could kind of walk us through a typical day for you and what works well for you.
Yeah. So my typical day routine, within the first 5 minutes of waking up, I go sit on my balcony and have some water because I have realized that I need sunshine to start my day, or at least an attempt at sunshine. It's hit or miss if we actually get it. So I'll sit out there. I typically will listen to an audio meditation or an affirmation in the morning. And then from there, the day kind of begins chaotically with work emails and everything else. I am working typically from 9 a.m. till about 5 or 6. And then it is fitting in walks with the dogs, a little bit of outdoor time where I can. And then it's typically a little lazy cooking and hanging out at home. I do still try to fit in music and live events and a few classes here or there. But lately it's a little bit of Groundhog Day of work, sleep, repeat, and fit in the rest of it where you can.
Well, 9 to 5 is pretty good hours there. Some people are stretching it even deeper into the evening. Sarah,
I say that, but it does vary in my work world. It'll be some nights where I'm till 8 or 9, and then some nights where it's earlier than that. So very much depends.
It's interesting how there used to be 9 to 5, like even Dolly Parton working 9 to 5. And somehow the companies gave us, well, you're getting an hour for lunch. So now it needs to be 8 to 5. A lot of these full-time jobs somehow just added an extra hour. And it's not fair.
They do that. Crazy how they do it.
Sarah, hopefully that gave you a good groundwork. And then I'll come back later with some more rapid fire questions. But Sarah, take it away.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. So when you were talking about you had certain subjects in school that you liked, what were those subjects?
I was absolutely a history person. That was my go-to. That was my favorite. Anything math related, count me out. I was horrible. It was not even questionable.
Okay. So history. What is it that you like about history?
I just like learning patterns and how people think and how things have unfolded. Even to this day, I didn't mention this in my daily routine, but I'm constantly reading in my free time, and I prefer autobiographies or biographies because I want to learn how people think. So that's kind of I don't know what that actually means because I took a psychology class and I did horrible with it. But I do love that process, and I like seeing how things unfold, and history has been a focus for me. Same thing when I travel. I want to go hit museums and historical sites and all of that.
Okay, that's really interesting. I might come back to that because I want to know more about that. Okay, so your parents, can you tell me more about your relationships with your father and mother?
So I would say these days I'm a lot closer with my dad. We did have a little bit of distance in my teenage years, but we have come back together and now we talk consistently. We also do a lot of travel together, which I find travel is an incredibly great way to get to know somebody, because when you're out of your comfort zone, you really do see true colors and you're forced to kind of find out new things about that person. So my dad and I are very, very close now. My mom and I are close, just probably not as close as we were back when I was living at home. We do talk probably like once a week or so, but little more distant than me and my dad.
Do you have any thoughts you want to share about why that is with your mom? You don't have to go anywhere you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything crazy. I think it's just been circumstances. I don't live in the same area as my family, so I think it's where you find that time with them. So I'm lucky enough that they're able to come visit, and I get to go visit pretty frequently. But I'm doing probably like longer extended trips when I go see my dad to different destination kind of things. Whereas with my mom, I'm really just seeing her when I fly home or she comes to visit. So.
And how would you characterize their personalities and what they do for a living?
So my mom's personality is very, very outgoing. And I'm sure that's a little bit of why we're also not quite as close as we used to be. But she's very outgoing, outspoken, very out there, isn't afraid to do anything. My dad's a little more introverted, a little quieter. So I think we probably get along on that. If there's a silent moment, we're not looking to fill it. It's just like, okay, this is fine. So.
Okay. And what do they each do for work or have done?
Yeah, so my mom was in interior design for a while, and then she ended up leaving that and then working a little bit more like community work. And then my dad was in sales for most of my life. He recently retired. Like, good
Okay.
for you.
What kind of sales?
Automotive, so cars.
Okay. Car sales. Cool. Um, okay. Was just out of curiosity, was it new cars or was it used?
He worked within the dealerships at both.
Okay. Just curious. Okay. So is there anything that you can tell us about, well, maybe I should ask, like what's your dating life like right now?
I have a partner who I live with, so it's pretty serious.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your partner?
I mean, where to begin? That's a big question. Let's see. He and I actually met when I was looking at moving to the city that I'm in, and things unfolded when I moved. And pretty much quickly after that, we just started exclusively dating as it became. We have two matching dogs. I have a corgi, he has a corgi. So that was a big selling point because now we have double. He works within the environment field. Couldn't tell you what he does, too much science for me to understand, but that's okay. He's great though. He's very much, he's just a really solid guy.
What's his personality like? Is it introverted, outgoing, those types of things?
I would say he's pretty introverted to most people, but as soon as you get to know him, he doesn't stop talking. So he's very similar to me with the introverted, but can be extroverted as well. But the friend group would say extroverted. Anyone who's met him outside of that would tell you introverted.
Okay. Okay. And what's your both y'all's sense of humor like?
I think we are both very sarcastic and very we like a good like witty punny moment, but it's you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. He has a little more drier sense of humor than I do. So
What kind of movies or TV shows do you guys like?
oh god, everything. We've gone from watching we just finished Dexter and then we watched Vanderpump. So there is a big big space of all kinds of shows in there. So pretty much
Okay.
anything, but yeah, pretty much anything.
Okay.
Do you find yourself going to one streaming platform consistently over the others? I think about that, and it's
God,
almost
I
cyclical,
wish.
but
I wish I wouldn't be paying for all these if I went to one, but I feel like we're just adding more and more because we keep divvying up and adding more shows.
maybe this is a personality question. Do you finish the stuff that you want to watch on one platform and then move to the next platform, or do you just bounce around randomly?
A little bit of both because we'll have one show that we're watching on one platform, but then I'll have a show I'm watching over here when it's like, oh, I'm working from home and I can throw something on in the background. And same with him. So we're kind of all over the place with it. Or like if you want a break to throw something else on, just I'm tired of watching this series. I want a little break. Let's throw a movie on or a documentary. It's all over the place.
Um, Dexter is interesting. Was that his choice or your choice?
That was my choice. And he hated it for the first episode. And then after that, he binged it within like a week. So just had to get through the first one. It's like, why
So-
do I like a serial killer? I'm like, just wait, there's layers.
Yeah. So that was actually a question I had written down for you earlier was, are you someone who likes dark subject matter? And are you able to look at things that are very unsettling where other people would not be able to look at it?
I think I would say yes. But I would say that I have to take breaks from it. If I watch too much of it or read too much of it, I do have to walk away and take a break and reset because I do find that it can impact me. But I do, like we were talking about earlier, I'm fascinated by the way people think and the way that brains work. So I am very curious with all that kind of subject matter. I'm fascinated by the true crime side and all of that, but I do have to take a little break after most of those.
Do you get into Halloween and that kind of stuff?
You know, I feel like if I had, this might be a weird one, but I feel like if I didn't work in the industry that I did, where I'm always working on those holidays, I would probably get more into it. But I don't really decorate. I don't dress up, don't do any of that. But I think if I wasn't crazy working, I may find the capacity to do that and I may have fun with it.
Okay. Um,
I will say on that line though, can't stand horror, can't stand that kind of stuff.
Okay.
That's too far for me.
What is it that you don't, is it like too difficult to watch or just boring?
It's too difficult for me to watch. Like too gory, I'm out. So
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Um, can you tell us anything about whatever you're comfortable talking about, your bad breakup in college?
yeah, I mean, everybody has their like first loves, and I would say that was him. I found out that he had been cheating on me with a close friend, so it just rubbed me as a what was I, like 20 years old at that point? I wasn't prepared for that, so I found out, hopped on a flight, went home, reprocessed, kind of got in line, and then flew back to the college I was going to. So it was difficult because I lost a friend in the process as well as the relationship, but looking back, I can definitely say it was a pivot point that I'm grateful for because I don't think I would have been as fulfilled in the career path I was going down at that point.
Okay. Can you tell us about any minor health issues or any health issues at all, kind of like even from like, breaking a bone or, weak ankles or things like, or asthma, things like that?
Of course. And it's like you read my mind. I have the worst right ankle in history. I have sprained that thing more times than I can count. I've now had 2 repairs on it. I had what's called a Brostrom procedure, which is when they basically redo the entire ligament. So that was a fun one. I've also broken the bone in that foot a time or 2. So my right ankle is my problem child bone or leg, I guess.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I specifically wanted to ask you about your ankles, so that's interesting. What about any lung irritations or breathing issues?
None, but I do get really nasty seasonal allergies.
Okay. Uh, and how do you feel about your hair? Is that like really? I mean, I feel like everybody is really into their hair, but like, would you say that it's more important to you than most people? Like styling your hair or
I
things like
think if
that?
you would have asked me 2 years ago before I relocated, I would have said yes because of the area that I was living in. It felt very much like I needed to have the outward appearance that fit everything. But I would say in the last year, because I used to have like extensions and fresh color all the time and all of that. But I will say, since relocating, that's no longer a thing. My extensions are long gone. And as much as I miss them sometimes, this is way easier to get up and just roll out of bed and brush it and move on. So
Okay.
say it used to be.
Okay. Um, I did have a question about mentioned all these tattoos that you had. There was some that you said were like specifically writing, and I was curious like what those messages were.
So I have on the back of my neck, I have the sign off from my grandparents. It says, I love you so much. And then I love you more from both of them. So I have their script on the back of my neck. So that's one of my favorite ones. I was lucky enough to get that before I lost either of them. They were so mad at me, but I think they were also like, but that's really cool that you thought of us and wanted to do that. So that one is, I think, my favorite. That's the one that I have that's in script or in their handwriting.
Okay. Do you have any others that have words or meanings or something?
I have quite a few. My sister and I went and got the word mom tattooed on our ankles we took her out for margaritas for her birthday a few years ago. And she was talking about how my sister and I have all these tattoos, but none for her. So of course we took that as a dare. So we went and got mom tattoos on our ankles. She wasn't so happy either, but if you challenge us, we're going to go do it. I have the word warped on my bad ankle from Warped Tour days. Me and a couple of friends went and got tattoos while we were out there. So I have that. I have the word cope on my wrist from one of my favorite albums. So, and I just also thought that was fitting with everything, learn to cope with everything. Let's see, what else do I have? I have the word, I have quotes from one of my favorite poems. It says, love her, but leave her wild on my forearm. And think that's all the text ones that I have, but I could be missing one or
Wow.
two.
Those are really beautiful.
Thank
I'm really
you.
curious about the cope one.
Mhm.
Have you been through a lot of trauma?
I wouldn't say that it's a lot of trauma, but I think we all have trauma that we develop as we're aging and growing. I think redeveloping relationships with my dad outside after like the distance time during my high school years, as well as just typical life trauma, has been one of those. So,
Hmm.
Is that album I just looked up, was it
mhm,
Manchester Orchestra?
it is one of my favorite bands.
Can you speak to what made that album in particular so meaningful to you?
You know, I this is going to sound bad, but I don't even think it's my favorite album by them. But I think I resonated with the album name and then with just life in general. Was like, this fits, and I love this band, and I can't think of anything else that would fit to get a Manchester Orchestra tattoo. But I would say, I mean, overall, the Manchester as a band has been very influential, and I found their music actually during that initial breakup. So I think that they've just stayed with me and developed from there.
Anything in particular that they do or represent that helps you kind of relate to it?
I wish I could put a pin on it. I just love Andy Hull is the lead singer of the band, and he writes most lyrics. And I find his writing style to be very unique and very, I don't know, just it's a very just a great album of great lyricist. I just really enjoy everything he puts together. And every time there's an album that comes out, I'm like, oh, it's not going to be as good. It's always good. I don't know why I question it anymore. So
Um, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger sister, and then I have a younger half brother, and it's actually his birthday today. So
Oh, wow. Okay. And what's your relationship with them like?
my sister and I are not as close as we used to be. She's across the world at this point, so it's a little harder to see her. But we text, we keep in touch that way. My little brother is we keep in touch pretty frequently, so I'm a little closer with him, and I think all of that is just proximity. So
Okay. Well, what was it like growing up with them? Did you guys get along? Did you fight a lot? Did you?
my
Yeah.
sister and I feel like typical sister behavior. We fought all the time. I feel like that's just kind of how sisters are growing up. And then you get older and you're like, oh, you are actually kind of cool. Like this is actually great. So I think my sister and I were very standard sister thing. My brother and I were not as close because my dad wasn't really around during those high school years. We had that distance there. So my brother and I's relationship really developed later on, but we're very close now. We talk all the time.
And so, do you have like a stepmother?
I do.
Okay. And do you have a close relationship with her?
Yes, we were pretty close. When I was talking about all the travel I do with my dad and everything, she's on those trips as well. So we find a lot of time to get to know each other and get to really bond in that way. She is also very much the yoga, wellness, meditation mindset. So we definitely go down that path together.
Okay. Have you done, are you interested in your own ancestry and your roots? Is that something that you spend a lot of time working on or thinking about?
I'm interested in it, but I haven't taken the time to actually do the digging yet. So I know my aunt on my dad's side has done our entire family tree leading as far back as she can think. And I've seen it a couple times, but I haven't spent enough time actually going through it.
Okay. And one other thing I really want to focus on is just like how you process like big emotions. Are
Mhm.
you the type of person? Well, I guess you tell me instead of I'm not going to lead the witness. Yeah, tell me how you handle like when you're feeling yeah, big emotions. I'll just leave it at that.
I have to walk away from whatever the situation is in order to process it. So whether that's going for a walk, going on a drive, getting away from it. Obviously, there's situations where you can't do that. So sometimes it's even just walking to the other room and just deep breath, get through it, listen to something if you have the time to. If not, take a shower, do whatever, just distract for a minute, let yourself process, and then come back to it. I definitely am one of those have to simmer and think for a moment before I can just immediately accept or process or go through.
And how do emotions feel to you? I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you feel things very intensely, but try to Yeah. First of all, I'll just ask, do you feel emotions very intensely?
I would say yes. And I would say I'm also like a pretty empathetic person. So I also have the tendency of pulling up the emotions of people around me.
Okay.
So
Okay. And
lots of emotions all over the place. It's so fun.
do you feel like you need to hide your emotions?
I don't. I think if you would have asked me a couple of years ago, probably, but I'm very much in this phase of life where I don't do that anymore.
Okay. Do you have trouble letting go of grudges and things like that?
No, I'm pretty good about that.
Okay.
I think that's something that I have worked on throughout life, though. I think we all learn to hold a grudge or be mad at somebody, but I've kind of learned I don't have the energy for it anymore. So I've started being very good about just letting it roll.
Have you ever struggled with jealousy?
Not really.
Okay. All right. Well, I might have some more questions in a second, but this is good for me now. I'll hand it back over to Scott.
All right,
Bring it on.
I'll do some quick ones. We'll do our quick follow-ups. I was interested in the survey. You mentioned that you love traveling, doing it all the time. Can you mention a couple of your favorite places and what makes them your favorite places?
Yeah, I actually just took a year off from work to travel. So I spent a lot of time in these favorite places. My favorite place, though, I would say is Costa Rica. Specifically, I love Nosara. I love the whole environment. It's off the grid, and it is a quote unquote yoga community. So everybody gets up, goes and either surfs or does yoga, and then every single person comes out for sunset. You see the entire town just shut down and sit on the beach. It's the most like tranquil place I've ever been. So I try to go there as much as I can. I love Scotland. I spent a lot of time in Edinburgh, and I really enjoyed the just energy of the city. That was incredible. Within that, I like London as well. I'm definitely a UK person, which I didn't ever think I would be. I love Greece. I mean, who wouldn't love Greece? You can't beat an island and the food and everything else. So that is a huge one. And then US wise, I do love San Diego. So that's been a favorite. I feel like that follows the Greece thing, though. It's like perfect weather and beaches. How can you beat that? So, and then I also love Napa. I am a wine person in my soul. And if you can put me in a place full of it, I'm very happy.
That'll lead you to some fun places around the world. Just follow the wine tours, right? Yeah.
That's my dream.
A follow-up on that, you mentioned that you also enjoy traveling and vacationing alone. Can you give any travel tips to those who would want to plan something on their own? Like what makes it especially good, when you're solo?
This is going to sound like an ad, and I swear it's not, but the entire that year I was traveling, I did it all solo, and I leaned into Airbnb experiences so much. Every single day I would like log on, find something that I would never think to do and go do it, whether it be a tour or a cooking class or there was one I did in Scotland that was a photo tour, which first of all, I hate having my picture taken. That's the introvert in me. But I ended up meeting now one of my really good friends on that tour. So I don't know. It was one of those, just find a way to get out of your comfort zone. And if you are doing something like that, it's only a 2-hour or 3-hour, however long window. So anybody can suck it up for a couple hours. But that was my go-to.
All right. Shifting gears, do you ever, Sarah was kind of describing, how do you feel with uncomfortable emotions? How do you feel when two other people are in disagreement and you're there, What are you? Yeah.
I hate it. I hate being in the middle of conflict. I will try to mediate if I'm asked to, but if I'm not, I try to hold back and stay in my own lane, because there's nothing worse than somebody trying to involve themselves within it. So I try to take that mentality and step back unless I'm asked to be a part of the conversation. So
you want to be out of it, and you're not even necessarily picking a side or considering, who you agree with?
I mean, internally I am, but I definitely don't try to outwardly be involved with any of that. So
okay, a couple quick ones. What do you hope people walk away thinking after meeting you?
It's a good one.
I've never thought of that, but that is a hard question, though. It's a good one, but I don't know if I want anyone to walk away with an opinion, but I would rather people walk away just feeling a little lighter or a little better. So I don't need an opinion. I can just, as long as someone feels a little better, that's all I need.
Okay. The only question regarding your birthday, do you love or dread when your birthday is coming up?
I think this is another one that as I'm getting older, it's changing, but now I don't necessarily, I used to love birthdays. I used to be so excited every time it would come up. And now I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, let's just do something fun for it. But it used to be, let's plan trips. Let's plan a big outing. Let's go do all of this. And now it's more so like, okay, let's get dinner. It's not as big of an event as it used to be. So I don't dread it, but I also don't get so excited that it's here again. So.
Okay. And would you rather have harmony or truth in a conversation?
Truth, which is painful to say because I want everything to be streamlined and easy and smooth. But at the end of the day, can you even have real harmony if you don't have the truth with it? So
good point. Well, lastly, do you think people really know the real you?
I do. I think I've worked really hard to be very much an open book and very transparent with who I am. And I think that's also part of the whole growth and getting older and realizing like, I don't need to be what I'm not. I can just, here I am, take it or leave it. Here's where we are.
Well, I've got nothing else. I'll hand it back to Sarah. Thank you so much for being truthful with us.
Yeah. I got a few more questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you were a child, growing up, what did you think about the world and your place in it? If you can put that into words.
I don't know if I had many opinions about the world in general. I think that I was just kind of being kind of the introvert and didn't need a huge group of friends, being kind of like the solo kid. I was just kind of trying to find my space within my little group and community rather than looking at the big world picture. I mean, I don't think I thought big world picture until I got older. So I think it was more so where can I find my little community and where I fit rather than where am I fitting within this big giant piece that I'm in.
Do you ever have like, are you someone who apologizes a lot or no?
That's another one I used to do a lot and I'm working on it because I think I used to apologize for pretty much anything and everything that didn't fit other people's. And in the last few years, like I was talking about, more so being true to who I am and all of that, I've kind of left that behind unless I actually think it's valid and needed. So,
when you look back on your life, what do you want to have accomplished?
I just want to live a life that's full and one that made an impact on people. I want to make positive impacts and I just want to live every experience possible. I think that I look at a lot of the things that I've done and it's like, okay, I'm glad I had all of these experiences and I'm glad that I did X, Y, Z because it left this mark out there. So.
Ooh, okay. Are you, are you someone who's very, what's the word? Am I thinking of tenacious or like very like, do you have a lot of like career goals that you're very aggressive about?
Yes and no. I've reached most of them. So they've kind of started to transition. So my goals originally were to move up quickly in the music industry and get to a certain title or a certain level. I don't have that goal anymore because I got there and kind of realized like, okay, now what? Now more so it's, I want to try expanding my skills and try different things or try different markets or venues or all of that as it comes to a career rather than I need a certain title or a certain level.
And are you very like home oriented? Is your home like very, I know that you said you don't get out a lot just because you're very busy, but like, do you really enjoy being at home?
I'm definitely a homebody to my core. I make it a big point to feel grounded as much as possible. And even when I'm traveling, it's like, I need to make sure this feels like home and I have a piece of it wherever I am. So yes, definitely a homebody.
Yeah, I thought it was also, I just keep thinking about the tattoo about your grandparents. Like, why was it so important? I think that's so beautiful and interesting
that you got specifically a tattoo that was like a quote that I guess your grandparents said. Like, what? Can you speak to that?
My grandparents were like incredibly important to me. I can't even express how valuable my relationship with them was. They were both just my grandma was like the spiciest, most sassy, incredible woman who was there. I have multiple tattoos for her, just one in her handwriting though. But she was probably the most influential person growing up in my life because she was very much unapologetically herself. She laid that groundwork. I mean, she was great. And then my grandpa was so incredibly like creative and just would always encourage us to get out there and try new things. He was awesome. He was picking up a new instrument every week. He was painting. He was doing anything creative. He was doing it. And I do not have some of those skills, but I wish I did. And I will constantly try because he instilled that in me. So,
do you own property at all, or is there any significant stories in your life about your family owning property, like, and there's like a really interesting story behind it?
My dad's side is very big into property. They actually have land in Costa Rica, which is one of those huge places that means so much to me. So they have some cool story with it. And I wish I remembered, but it originally belonged to some musician. I can't remember who it is, and it's going to drive me crazy, but he ended up selling it and they ended up finding it that way. So there's probably a cool story there, but I don't know the details on it. They also have property in some of the other places that have become favorite travel destinations, like Napa. That one is just a little plot of land, nothing there, but it's cool to know there's a tie there.
Yeah. And is that like maybe a goal that you have? Like, do you dream about like owning property one day, like kind of like that?
I mean, I would love to. Realistically, in my industry, I don't know if I'll ever get paid enough to do that though. So, but I would love to.
I thought it was interesting. We always ask this question on our survey about like how you would handle someone on a group project not doing their work or, pulling their weight. And a lot of people actually respond the way you did, which is like, I'd probably just deal with it as long as I could. What is the thought process behind that? Do you just hate confrontation, or do you not feel like you have authority?
I think it becomes one of those hating confrontation, but also to the point of I could probably just do this myself and get it done faster without the problems, which is kind of how it went all of high school. So that's still tracks.
Do you consider yourself like, what's the opposite of a cynic? Like someone, and I feel like there's a word for it, but are you?
I know the word you're thinking of, and I can't remember what it is.
Well, I'll just ask.
Optimist?
I guess so, but cynic, I feel like pessimist is the opposite of that. But cynic is someone who just doesn't think, I guess, people are, inherently good or something. They kind of just feel jaded about people and stuff. How do you feel about people in general?
I do believe that people are good to their core. I think there's obviously bad seeds out there, but I do think there is more good than bad.
Okay. All right. Just thinking if I had any last questions. How do you like to decorate your home?
Oh, I have plants everywhere. That's my first starting point. I have pieces of art of things I've collected from whether it be the travel stuff or the farmers markets we go to, wherever it may be. I'm always picking up pieces and throwing it on the wall. Other than that, it's a lot of just neutrals. I want my home to be a very calming and peaceful environment. I don't want to walk into chaos. I want to walk into like, oh, I can relax now. I'm here. So
how does chaos make you feel when you experience it?
I like organized chaos. I have to for my job. I'm literally putting organized chaos together for these things. So I do like it in moments. Like I love a festival. I love a concert. I love that realm, but outside of that, not for me. So organized chaos is my preference.
Do friends come to you and kind of like are you the type of person that people just pour their heart out to you and want you to hold their hand and walk you you walk them through stuff?
Pretty frequently, yes.
Okay. Like kind of traumatic things? Like, are you good with handling, like hearing someone's traumatic story and helping them through it?
A lot of the time it is probably more intense things that I'm ready to hear, but I find space for it and I find time to be that
Okay.
listening ear.
Okay. All right. I feel like I've exhausted my line of questioning. I'm sure I could ask another hour's worth of questions, so I'll try to cut myself off.
That's right. We put limits on here.
But
Sarah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I was going to say, I appreciate how forthcoming you were and all the answers you gave. So I appreciate that.
We are going to institute a buzzer at some point.
I
And
know.
Sarah's like, broccoli or asparagus? Which one is your favorite vegetable if you had to choose?
I mean, I would do it. So
Well, now is the time when we are going to put you back in the waiting room and we're going to have a quick little conversation, kind of compare notes, see if we're on the same page. Then we'll bring you back and find out if we're right.
sounds good.
All right. So you have time to take a little bit of a break.
Perfect.
All right. We'll see you in a bit. Oh boy, Sarah.
Yes.
Now we're back in our detective's office while the witness is still in the interrogation room.
Yeah.
A lot of good answers there.
Yeah.
I have to say that I'm still pretty split.
Yeah. Yeah. I found this kind of a hard one. Like, I really had to push myself to ask some creative questions, and I definitely started off feeling one way and then kind of transitioned throughout. And I wouldn't say I feel as confident as I did last episode, but I'm just kind of like, I feel like I did what I could do, and in the amount of time we had. And so,
What would more time have allowed? Like, how confident do you think you would be able to get?
I would like to just go hang out with her and be in her presence.
Well, obviously, pretty cool person. I want to talk music and bands. I want to see, what are these stories?
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like I can get a faster read on somebody just by hanging out with them, observing them in their natural element, having a natural conversation, see what things they bring up, see how they respond to the outside world. I love that kind of, if I just could spend the day with someone, I feel like it would be, of course, like more information.
That's going to be our spinoff show where Sarah and I spend a day with somebody and they don't know which day, and we're just going to be watching them secretly.
I mean, it's a lot like a job interview, you're like, they're presenting a certain facade. I mean, everyone just does that. And you're trying to figure out, like, okay, what are you showing me, and what is, like, who is the real you, and how much of what you're showing me is the real you or just what you want me to see, Yeah. So you've got to ask penetrating questions.
Well, I think we did. Was there any question in particular that really, like, helped flip it one way or the other for you?
When she started talking about her family and the grandparents' tattoo and the legacy, and I mean, not the legacy, but just the ancestry, and just a lot of stuff around home and family.
Okay.
So.
Well, are we ready to reveal our choices?
Yes.
You've got yours written down?
I did.
All right. So for those just listening, we're going to raise a sheet of paper simultaneously, and we'll tell you who each of us picked on 3, 2, 1. Wait. Oh, no, mine is. All right. We got different ones.
Oh,
finally.
Right. Yes.
Oh, I need to just put it right here.
Yeah, you need a marker. Okay, there we go.
All right. Neither one of us is very confident, but we have both chosen. I've chosen the Libra. Sarah's chosen the Scorpio.
What made you choose the Libra?
I will say that overall, a personality of having fun and being like, she was very open and willing to talk, even though she would say she was introverted. I feel like everybody can feel introverted at different times. But if I'm saying why I genuinely picked it, it was like I was basing that along with being born at 1:53 in the afternoon on a Sunday versus 11:53 on a Wednesday. And I really wanted to ask, do you know if you had a home birth? Because that would have... But I think that would have been going too far.
Not many people have a home birth.
That's true. That's true. But these are the things that the scientific community is thinking about, trying to pick which one of these two birth dates is more likely. Personality-wise, I could make a case for both of them, for both the Scorpio and a Libra. So I'm not surprised at all that you chose Scorpio.
Well, what could you make a case for Scorpio on?
Well, like a Libra would have wanted to make peace with people that were disagreeing. And she said she wanted to stay out of it. And it made her very uncomfortable. Which I guess a Libra would be uncomfortable, but they would want to fix it. So if we're talking personality stuff.
Well, when she was talking about marketing, and I was trying to marketing is one of those things that I don't always understand, but what do you do? Because it's such a broad field. So I was trying to understand, are you part of the, like, do you design things? Like, is it design or is it talking to, like, I just never quite fully grasped that, I guess. But when she was talking about marketing and communications and so much on her job, and there were just a lot of things that made me think that she was a Libra. But when I think the first eyebrow I raised was the Dexter thing. I was like, oh, okay, we're watching serial killer stuff. That's interesting.
I saw your eyes light up with that one.
Yeah, the serial killer stuff. I was like, that's definitely like Scorpio stuff. Now, she said, I don't really like the gore too much, which, I will say this Scorpio has a Scorpio moon. And so conjunct Pluto, like sometimes when the moon gets wrapped up in all of that too, I feel like now that's like someone who's very sensitive. I think she's a very sensitive person. And so I feel and she was talking about psychology, even though she said she wasn't quite good at it, but she is interested in the past a lot. And so, my conflict there with that is, I think Saturn, Capricorn risings, they might be interested in the past, but Leos are definitely Leo risings, definitely historian vibes. And that fourth house stellium to me was like very historian focused. The family owning land in Costa Rica, those were all themes like that real. And then she said she got the word cope on her wrist. To me, cope, that's like a real Scorpio word, because Scorpio is about transforming it's like intensity, transformation. But the other thing that really sold it for me was the bad ankle, because the Scorpio chart has Saturn in Aquarius, and Aquarius rules the ankles. And so that's what I'm going with.
I'm fine with it. Honestly, it could be either way, because this was a tough one to choose based on just probability. So I could definitely see we're going into labor. We need to get to the hospital. It's late at night, and it's just one of those night births, Yeah,
I would say that though, she didn't remarkably look like a Scorpio is my only worry, because Scorpios, especially Scorpio risings, they often have darker hair, darker eyes, darker complexion kind of features. And she looked to me a little more Libra, but
all right, I'll take it.
I don't know. So that's was throwing me off a little bit, but I'm just gonna
Roll the dice. We're throwing them down there.
Yeah, we're rolling the dice.
We're going to see what happens. Well, everybody, I hope that you have chosen yours, made your picks, whether you are agreeing with Sarah or agreeing with me. It's okay. Either way is great. We're going to find out which one of us is right, and we're going to find out if you were right at home when we return with our guest right after this. Hey, listeners. We're not just a podcast that tests astrology. We're an independent detective agency. That means we rely on you to help us keep the show running.
Exactly. By joining Astro Detectives on Patreon, you can support our mission to finally prove astrology is real.
Or, completely debunk it.
Here we go again.
One thing we can agree on, Astro Detectives is the only place you'll find astrologers and skeptics working together, like a buddy cop movie you didn't know you needed.
And trust me, detective work takes time, gathering evidence, late night stakeouts, solving cases, especially when Mercury's retrograde.
Okay, you can't blame Mercury.
The first step is easy and free. Just follow Astro Detectives on Patreon to get access to our debrief episodes where the conversation continues after each case ends. We break down what went right and what went wrong.
And if you want to fast track your training, become a rookie detective for only $3 a month. You'll unlock exclusive bonus episodes, plus early releases and the top secret case files sent straight to your inbox.
Or for just $1 a month, we'll make you an Astro intern. No compensation per se, but hey, you'll gain valuable detective experience and that warm, fuzzy feeling knowing you're helping us keep the lights on.
So if you like what we're doing and want to support us, head over to patreon.com/astrodetectives and join the investigation today. Welcome back, everybody. We had our huddle. Sarah and I are on two different pages. We chose different charts, so this one will be exciting to see. This is going to possibly break my 100% accuracy thus far. I got my very first one right, but granted, that's just one time. So fate could flip in the other direction for me this week. Allie, we were choosing between a Libra and a Scorpio. And
interesting.
Hopefully one of those does belong to you and is your actual sign. If not, we got to go back to the drawing board.
One does match.
Okay. Sarah, are you ready to find this out? Are you feeling nervous?
Yeah, my heart always pounds a little bit. I'm more calmer this season. I think I put too much of my weight on in trying to prove myself last season. So I'm trying to be more relaxed about it, honestly.
This is the relaxed season. The questions, more questions are inbounds, and Scott's playing along, and I think that I'm trying to bring a calm vibe to it. It's not too serious. I could be wrong. I could be right. I could be 2 for 2 after this.
You would love that.
Oh my God, I would love that. I'm gonna start an astrology website. It's gonna be called Skeptic's Astrology. I can do it just as good as everybody who knows what they're talking about. All right. Everybody at home has made their choices too, hopefully. So Allie, tell us, between a Libra and a Scorpio, which one are you?
I am the Scorpio.
Ooh! Sarah is thrilled.
Oh my God! Yes. Sorry.
Technically, I'm like a double Scorpio, I think, or something wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
Quick follow-up question. Did you by chance have a home birth?
I did not. I
Okay.
was actually 2 weeks early. So.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
So I probably should have been a Libra because my sister is a Libra and she's end of October. So.
Wait, 2 weeks early.
Oh no, I did the math. Yeah, I did the math wrong. I'm losing my mind. Excuse me while I go get more coffee.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I was like, wait a minute, maybe I was kind of right too. No,
just losing it. I'm just losing my mind.
All right. We do always like to ask, is there anything you want to leave our audience with? This could be recommendations. This could be any place you want to send them, whether you want to plug anything in particular.
I don't have socials to plug any of that, but I will say go out and see some live music, go travel, go do all the things. Life is short, get out and enjoy it. So that's my recommendation.
Great advice. Sarah, we do have your ads normally, but are we plugging yours at the end too? Or are we just doing the guest?
Yeah, people can find me at Hartshorn Astrology. I do astrology and human design readings.
And if you want a free solar consultation, go ahead and email us, and I'll get a consultant in your area to come out and show why you're being overcharged by your electric company and why the sun is so much cheaper. And you can figure out what your sun sign is too, and we can put that with your solar consultation. It's fun. All right, well, that's it, everyone. Let us know what you thought by commenting on whatever platform you follow us on. Links to our accounts are in the show notes. If you like the show and want to support it, you can visit patreon.com/astrodetectives, where this conversation continues on the Patreon-only debrief. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss the next episode. Rate and review and tell your friends. And until next time, this case is closed.